So how would I describe Donald Trump's speech in Arizona on Thursday? 2 words: utter disaster. Let me show you some of the lowlights of Trump's speech in Arizona, where he had people wait outside for him in 110-degree weather. About 50 people or so were actually hospitalized. I'll show you Trump first, then I want to compare it to President Biden in his interview with ABC, where he went on the offense and he was not holding back. So here's Donald Trump in Arizona glitching. Play the clip.
When I'm president, I will use Title 42 to end the trial, and we have to do this.
Here's Donald Trump in Arizona kissing a corrupt sheriff. Play the clip.
I don't kiss men, but I kissed him.
Here's Donald Trump in Arizona cursing. Play the clip.
So they come up with something that's fake, just like everything else they do. It's all fake. The impeachments are fake. The court cases are a disgrace to our country. Everything is fake. So they come up with this order. I won't say it because I don't like using the word bullshit in front of these beautiful children. So I won't say it. I will not say it. But this thing allows millions of people.
Here's Donald Trump in Arizona praising dictators. Play the clip.
When I was in China, I was with President Xi, 1.4 billion people, strong guy, and we got along well until COVID. Then I said, the hell with it, man. It wasn't. What they unleashed on the world was incredible, but.
And just so you can see some of the footage of the MAGAs who were outside in 110-degree weather, who were hospitalized, let me just show you just some video right there. I'll just show you a short clip. But Donald Trump held this in Arizona at the peak temperature in the afternoon because Donald Trump had to rush to a billionaire's fundraiser in San Francisco. Just so you see what was going on outside of the Trump speech, it was like this. Play the clip. All right, so we had glitching Trump, kissing Trump, cursing Trump, wannabe dictator Trump, people hospitalized, and here is lying Trump saying that black colleges were not funded until him. Here, play this clip.
I funded the colleges and black colleges and universities. Nobody else did that. Nobody else even thought of it. And
all right, so you keeping track of our list: glitching Trump, kissing Trump, disgusting kissing Trump, cursing Trump, praising dictator Trump, people hospitalized, lying Trump, and here's just rambling Trump talking something about stores and air conditioning being stolen. Play the clip.
They go and stop people from robbing stores. You go to some of these department stores where 500 people walk into the stores. They walk out with air conditioning. They strip the whole store. The company goes out of business. The store is vacant for 25 years. The whole city becomes a slum. And if you do anything as a law enforcement person, they take away your house. They take away your family. They take away your pension.
Then Donald Trump, it's about time he had to talk about his main platform, right? Like, look, the people are there to see what he has to say about what he can do for this country. So look, Donald Trump had to talk about his key platform, which is the fact that he was a convicted felon, or that he is a convicted felon, that he was found guilty. Just think about that, folks. Donald Trump's main platform in the election is not, here's what I'm going to do for the American people. It is, feel bad for me, a billionaire who's been found liable for sexual assault, who's been found liable for civil fraud, who's been found liable for defamation, who's bankrupted most of the companies that he's touched despite being born with the golden spoon in his mouth, and has now been convicted on 34 felony counts. That's what he's running on. feel bad for him because of the fact that he was convicted by a jury of his peers. Here he's whining. Play it.
I just went through a rigged trial in New York with a highly conflicted, and I mean highly conflicted, judge, where there was no crime.
And then, of course, he's got to lean into a little bit more substance on policy, right? Like here, talking more about being convicted. Play the clip.
No, it's never been, nobody's ever seen, because they know it was rigged. They know it's a corrupt system. They know all about it. But with your help, less than 5 months from now, and we're going, and I'll tell you what, we have to change the system. We have to straighten out what's going on in these courts. We got a rigged deal going, this whole country. And we've got to do it. And those appellate courts have to step up and straighten things out, or we're not going to have a country any longer.
And here Donald Trump leans in and says to everybody in Arizona to support his election-denying pal who won't leave Mar-a-Lago, Kari Lake. Play the clip.
You got to elect Kari Lake. She's going to be fantastic. Kari Lake. Kari.
Oh yeah, and Donald Trump says that there is currently underway right now an invasion taking place. The biggest invasion ever, he says, is happening right now. Play the clip.
So this has been the largest invasion in history. We are being invaded.
I'm reminded about what that sports broadcaster Colin Cowherd says. It's like, there's only a certain amount of times where you can tell me things are happening that aren't actually happening before it's like you're the biggest con artist. I think that's an understatement by Colin Cowherd, but that's what Donald Trump's pitching, the biggest con ever. He just thinks if he repeats it and says it, people's view of the fact that we're doing pretty good in America right now, especially compared to other countries internationally. America's like #1 in mostly all categories, whether it's the economy, whether it's things like oil production, whether it's you name it. But let Donald Trump sell you the bill of goods like the snake oil salesman that he is. By the way, he's got to give a shout out to criminals from Venezuela. Play this clip.
And there may be, is there any criminal from Venezuela in the room? Please raise your hand. There probably is. We just don't know about it.
Right. So just completely unhinged. Let me show you, though, President Biden's interview. Let me show you President Biden's interview here on ABC. And here President Biden is asked about, what are you going to do in the debate? First off, this is what I think. Trump ain't debating. You saw Trump. You think Trump's going to debate someone who's like this? Play this clip.
Let me ask you, as we sit here today, you're preparing to speak to the world about the fight for democracy, both abroad and at home. We are 3 weeks from this debate. What do you think you need to accomplish on that debate stage?
Say what I think. Let him say what he thinks. The things he said are off the wall. I want to be a dictator on day one. I want to move in a direction where he talks about, suspending the Constitution. All I have to do is hear what he says, remind people what he says and what I believe, what he believes. He's about him. I'm about the country.
You think rambling, meandering, mush brain Donald Trump is going to debate President Biden? Sure, President Biden is older right now than he was. He's 4 years older than Donald Trump, so they're kind of right around the same age. I get that President Biden used to talk faster. I'm sure he wishes that he could, be quicker on it. He's not, but he's deliberate. He's smart as heck. He's got a real good sense of humor. And he's very, very sharp here. He's asked a question about, Donald Trump saying this and that about your executive order. He's calling you pathetic. Watch what President Biden says. Play the clip.
You bring up your opponent, Donald Trump. He has said of your executive action, he's pretending to finally do something about the border, but it's all about show. He says we have a debate coming up. Biden's executive order is weak and pathetic.
Is he describing himself? Weak and pathetic? Come on. Look, everybody knows what's happened. We had a deal. It was much broader than this, much better, much more accepted across the board. And he got on the phone and told the Republicans, don't support it.
And here President Biden says, let the American people decide what they think about Trump's convention, okay? What I care about is the rule of law. Here, play the clip.
You did address Donald Trump and the guilty verdict on 34 felony counts before the American people. You told Americans to respect the jury and the outcome of this case. You were at a campaign fundraiser and you told the room a convicted felon is now seeking the office of the presidency. You called it disturbing. What do you think the American people should make of this? How important do you think this conviction should be in this race for president?
That's for the public to decide, but one thing for certain is stop undermining the rule of law. Stop undermining the institutions. That's what this whole effort is. All the MAGA Republicans are coming out saying this was a fix, this was a jury that this was a judge that set up to get Trump. There's no evidence of any of that, none. He's trying to undermine it. Look, he got a fair trial. The jury spoke like they speak in all cases, and it should be respected.
And then it's not a day that starts with the letter T if Donald Trump is not whining on his social media platform. Here it is. Donald Trump goes, I'm not going to show you his other posts. I'll just show you one because he's like a madman, crazy. He goes, "It is a total and complete American tragedy that crooked Joe Biden Department of Injustice is so desperate to jail Steve Bannon and every other Republican for that matter for not submitting to the Unselect Committee political thugs made up of all Democrats and two crazed former Republican lunatics crying Adam Kinzinger and Liz out of her mind Cheney." Those nicknames are pretty poor. "It has been irrefutably proven that the Unselects who committed the actual crimes when they deleted and you can't read this is 5150 stuff here. I mean, this is truly stuff that he needs to put a straitjacket on. I mean, this is wild stuff. Okay, but you want to bring up Steve Bannon, your buddy, your conspirator, co-conspirator. Let's hear what Steve Bannon said in his own words when he attended an event in October 2020 hosted by Miles Guo, who's now been charged as well for $1 billion fraud. Also, in addition to Steve Bannon being found guilty by a jury in Washington, D.C. in a federal proceeding, Steve Bannon is being tried in New York after you pardoned him for the federal crimes it was alleged he committed for the We Build the Wall scam, where it's alleged he stole money from donors who thought the money was going to build the wall that you didn't build. But here is Bannon at Miles Guo's compound. Remember, Guo's now under indictment, he's been arrested. But at this period of time, Bannon's like, no matter what the results are, here's our plan. We're going to claim victory no matter what happens. Donald Trump's going to say that he won even if he's losing. That's our plan. That's why the January 6th committee wanted to hear from him, not the Unselect committee or this or that. At the end of the day, what he's saying here is so fundamentally against what our country stands for. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. It's only the MAGA mush wannabe fascist brain show up with long red ties where Donald Trump dresses you up with his face on your shirt and all the weirdness that's now become the Republican Party. If you're a mainstream Republican, a mainstream conservative, an independent, or a Democrat, what I'm about to play you right now should piss you off. This is not the rule of law. This is not what our system is about. This is pathetic. Play this clip.
"I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters." That quote came to mind last week when audio from Trump advisor Steve Bannon surfaced from October 31st, 2020, just a few days before the presidential election. Let's listen.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory. Right, he's going to declare victory, but that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail, and so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. No, because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy shit.
And of course, 4 days later, President Trump declared victory when his own campaign advisors told him he had absolutely no basis to do so. What the new Steve Bannon audio demonstrates is that Donald Trump's plan to falsely claim victory in 2020, no matter what the facts actually were, was premeditated. Perhaps worse, Donald Trump believed he could convince his voters to buy it, whether he had any actual evidence of fraud or not.
Well, there you have it, folks. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. We're grateful for your support every step of the way. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.
Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.